The following is paid programming.
It's time to talk taxes.
New friends, new opportunities, new partners. EG Tax.
It's Ask the Tax Lady with Esther Julius and EG Tax on News Radio 930 WBEN. To reach Esther now, call 803-0930. Toll free at 1-800-616-9236. And cell calls are free at star 930. And now, live from the WBEN studios, it's Esther Julius.
Hey, everybody, this is the Tax Lady, and we're going to talk taxes, and we're going to talk about cryptocurrency and interest rates, and we're going to talk about EV vehicles and clean energy products and all those kind of things to make sure that you know what's going on in the world of taxes. And, of course, I'm joined in studio with Christopher Fabian. Hey, Chris.
Hello, Esther.
Hey, and thanks for going to the Peach Festival today in Lewiston. It looked like a beautiful day.
Yes, we had a peach of a time.
Had a peach of a time. That's good. And Tiffany Fabian. Hey, Tiff.
Hey, happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. So, we want to talk maybe about our tax goal for a minute?
Yeah. So the school starts pretty soon, in a couple of weeks here. It meets twice a week, either in the mornings or the evenings, whatever is more convenient for your schedule. The class is free of charge. You do, however, have to purchase the book and the workbook. Are we still running a 2-for-1 special, Chris?
I don't think so.
I think that expired.
Yeah. Well, so anyways, come with your friend. It's always better to do things with two people, right? Esther can testify to that.
That's true.
That's true. There's also an online version if you want to just stay home in your PJs. And the hope is that you'll come and work at one of our 31 locations, and we would love to have you. It's lots of fun. It's a really rewarding job, and I just can't stress that enough. And so you can register
and
online.
I'm going to tell you, even if you just take it for your own enhancement,
Yeah.
you would be shocked, really shocked at how our tax system works. People have no idea. They think that they're in some tax bracket and that's what gets taxed, but that's far from the truth. I mean, there's all kinds of things that get you to the tax bracket. Just because you have the income doesn't mean you're going to pay taxes on it. So it's very interesting, and many times the way the tax code is written, if you have income and it's the right situation, they end up paying you. You don't pay them. So it's really a great opportunity to learn for yourself as well. And you can register at our website at egtax.com. And you can register right online, right?
Yeah, I know last weekend I got a Facebook message from one of my friends, and she's like, I think I'm going to register for the class this year. And so it'll be just, she will love it. She will love it. Yep. So just come all.
Okay, so there's that. And then, I keep alluding to the high interest rates. And the thing is, the highest rates are usually with credit unions. So, like, for instance, there's a 6% one-year CD at American One Credit Union. The only trouble is you have to be a Michigan resident. So when you take a look at when you're hunting for these CDs, and if you want me to hunt for you, give me the parameters and I'll do it for you. But many times the highest interest rates are from credit unions. So, but here are some of the things that you can do right now. You can get 5.65 on a one-year CD at Forbright Bank. You can get 5.75% from Connexus Credit Union. You can get 4.45% on a 5-year CD. Now think about that, 5 years. So if interest rates go back down to 2% and you're locked in at 4.45, you're going to get 4.45 for 5 years.
Wow.
That's really pretty good. And First Internet Bank is 4.75% for 3 years, and Bread Bank is 4.75 for 3 years. The other day I had a 2.17% CD, and I cashed it in favor of a 5% CD in the same institution. So did I take a penalty? Yes. I think it was about $1,000 penalty. But over the year, I will make I will get that penalty back plus interest. So that's what you need to take a look at when you're looking at your own finances. If you're somebody that wants to get a high yield, and who doesn't?
Yeah.
Right?
I haven't heard of these rates in years and years and years and years and years.
And years and years. And
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, they're doing all these things short term. Many of these are like 1 year, except for the one for Colorado Savings and First Internet Bank. And by the way, Colorado Savings, you don't have to live in Colorado or First Internet Bank. But that credit union in Michigan, you have to be an Alpena resident or something. But the thing is, if you take a look if the Fed increases the interest rate that the United States has to pay to borrow money, what's going to happen is banks will follow suit. So that'll happen. But very happy to help anybody that's looking for high yield, because the bottom line isn't that it's taxable. The bottom line is that you have more money.
Right.
You know, it's after taxes, right?
Right.
So anyway, I'm Esther Gullius, the tax lady, 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on a cell phone. You can text us at 716-803-0930. And should we go to John first?
John.
Sure.
Hi, John. How can we help you?
Say, Esther, I'm wondering, what is first of all, I have long-term care insurance,
Okay,
and I pay premiums each year.
sure.
And I also utilize that as a deduction on my income tax. What is
That's correct.
What is the limit for the premiums that I can deduct?
I don't have that. Are you single?
Like 3,600.
No,
And your income, and your age is how, may I ask your age?
what's that?
May I
How old
ask
are you?
your,
What?
how old are you?
87.
Okay, so he's going to be at the top. I think it's like $4,500. I don't have it off the top of my head, Chris. Do you guys?
Yeah,
have
my
it?
guess was like 3,600. He's looking it up right now. And then while he's looking it up, John, don't forget there's also a credit on the state of New York that carries over year to year. And so I don't know if you pay.
I don't really pay any New York
there you
tax
go.
at all.
Yeah, but the credit carries over year to year to year. So if
I
something
know it,
happens,
and I build it up to such a point where I don't. I just don't.
$5,640.
$5,640 is your allowable deduction as a medical expense if you itemize your deductions.
How much is that now?
$5,640.
$5,640.
Yep.
Right.
Now is that for each both?
No,
the
that
wife
would be
and me?
yours. If that's so, that's what yours would be. How old is your wife?
She's 86.
So it would be the same for her, right,
Yep.
Chris?
Yep.
So you can take almost $9,000 as a deduction, as an itemized deduction, if you itemize on the federal.
Now, how did you get 9,000?
Well, it
I
would
got
be 5640 times 2, so it
5640.
actually
Right,
would
so
be
it's
11,280.
What is the other one?
About the same.
It would be-
You double yours. You double yours.
mine.
If you're paying that much, I'm assuming you are.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
really good plan.
we're paying over $16,000.
But I
Yeah.
want to tell you, 1 month in a nursing home is going to
Be 16.
offset that expense. So
That's
now,
why
do
I-
you actually itemize your deductions?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so that would be a medical deduction plus your Medicaid that you're paying Part A and B, plus your any supplemental health insurance, doctors, dentists, glasses, trusses, braces, crutches, ambulance, hospital, nurses, anything, prescriptions, anything to alleviate glasses, dentures, anything to alleviate a medical problem.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, John?
So you said now 5640 doubled
You
Right.
got it.
Yep.
is my total
That's
itemized
what you can take-
deduction.
For
That's
for
what
your
you can
long-term
take-
care, yes.
Right, so
Yeah.
that's $11,280.
11,280.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. That's what I
Okay.
wanted to know. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Very smart man.
And then he
All right,
can
I'm
also
Esther.
use
Yes,
his
sir.
Medicare costs for part of the itemized deductions too. So he's really up to 11 plus the 2 plus the 2 over 15,000. That's
But
before.
that's where, if you have large itemized deductions and you're just not really paying much in taxes when you apply that to your income, you might want to take a look at taking more income out of your IRA or annuity, something taxable, so you get the biggest bang for your buck.
Yep.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm Esther Gillius, the tax lady from EG Tax, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. Text number is 716-8030930. After the break, we're going to talk about cryptocurrency. We're going to give you the ins and outs of it as much as a human being could explain, because it is really confusing. And we'll take your calls
And talk to Polly.
your comments on the other side. Hey, all my family out there, we want to help you. I'm Esther Gillius, the tax lady from EG Tax. And during the week, if you have questions, you can go to our website at egtax.com, ask the tax lady, and I will get back to you right away. I love helping people. Why don't we, before we go, I start this cryptocurrency thing, which I studied yesterday like a maniac.
Long time.
So I will make sure that I give everybody the right information. Why don't we go to Polly, who's been waiting?
Hey,
Polly.
Hey there. I know nothing about crypto other than I don't trust it.
That you
in
don't
general.
want to know.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
Right.
The last 10 minutes of your show, and I heard you saying about credit unions. I always tell people, because I belong to a credit union for the last 20 years, they're way better than your regular bank.
Mm-hmm.
Although it seems to me if I had to join a bank, I think it would be Key Bank. But as far as rates and stuff, my younger son, he had a lot of savings, and he realized he was going to get 1% maybe on savings. So he took all his savings and put it in one lump sum with Goldman Sachs. I'm like, you probably can do better going with Fin Guys or something, instead of putting all your eggs in one bank. But I would think a credit union would have naturally have better rates than your regular bank. But
they're all competing, Polly. They're all competing for your
just
money.
A little more. And then secondly, I would mention to everybody about unclaimed funds. I went to the New York Comptroller and did unclaimed funds a few years ago, and I had 3 different unclaimed funds. And I'll bet there's a lot of people out there with unclaimed funds that can help
True.
people.
That's true. We really appreciate your phone call.
And
Here's
I
the
love
thing.
the idea of your tax school, your free tax school. I want to get my daughter going on there. So, sorry, too many different things I'm talking about. But I'm shocked that it sounded like you were saying the credit union is not giving the same yield.
No, I said that credit
Is
unions do
standard
better.
bank.
No, Polly, I said credit unions do better.
Good
So
ideas, Polly.
Credit unions generally pay more than commercial banks.
Yeah.
But if something that you have to look at when you're looking at putting your money into any kind of an investment, whether it's with a broker or a bank, make sure that if they say that they're paying 5.75%, that it's 5.75%, not 0.0575, because looking at math, for a full percentage, the decimal point would come after the number. So if you did 0.015, that means you're getting less than 1%. If you're getting 1.5, that means you're getting 1.5%. So you have to be very careful, because some of these banks interdisperse with all of the higher yielding banks on the website are banks that are paying 0.0012%. Be careful. It doesn't mean it's 12%. It means it's less than 1%. Right? Okay, and then we have a text, Tiff.
Yeah, the text says your class registration information indicates that you don't support Safari. I only have an Apple computer. Can I take the class on site and avoid this problem?
So tell this nice lady or person what we have provided our students with.
So first of all, yes, you can take the class on site, and you could take it online, and you could use your Apple computer to take it online. But we do have some laptops that you can use that are IBM, because you're right, we don't support our
Right,
software.
our software
doesn't
doesn't.
support Macs, so
Right.
we've got options. Yes, so
right.
make
So
sure
we'll,
you call us.
we'll let you use a laptop.
yes,
Right?
there's options.
Okay, so let's get into cryptocurrency. Well, first of all, in life, you find out that every specialized, eh, whether it be a
Yin and yang.
sport or some kind of project, everybody uses their own terminology. Like if looking at boating, I'll never forget when I first got a boat and somebody said to me, my two girls were sitting on the bow of my boat, and a man walked by and said, "You got twins?" And I said, because I have two daughters that are about the same age, and I said, "Oh, no, they're 6 months apart because one is my stepdaughter and one is my biological daughter." And he said, "No, lady, twin engines." Okay. Then he says, "Well, how much does she draw?" And I thought he meant artwork. Because this is boating terminology. Aft is the back, bow is the front, port is the left, starboard is the right, wake means wave, and that's a lot what's happening with cryptocurrency. So I say all that because there is terminology when you're trying to learn about cryptocurrency that means other things, and they're using it. It can be very, very confusing. Okay. First of all, why is it that from a tax standpoint, Chris and Tiff, would we even care about cryptocurrency?
Because people sell it and buy it. And so it's a tax event when those things occur. Not so much buying it, but selling it.
And come 2024, 2025, the IRS is mandating all cryptocurrency agencies issue 1099-Bs, which means every sale is going to be reported to the IRS.
And then why is that important?
Because you have to pay tax on your gain.
Right. And so if you go to buy a car with your cryptocurrency, that is not only, it's not like pulling money out of your savings account, which would be tax-free money because you already paid taxes on the interest that it earns and the principal wouldn't be taxable. But if you take $40,000, 40,000 crypto dollars out to pay a car, that would be a $40,000 capital gain, right?
Yep. That's
because that's the Internal Revenue Service has said that a digital asset that's a substitute for actual currency is cryptocurrency. But every time you cash it in, it's not like going to the bank where you just withdraw the money and you don't have to report it. Every time you cash it in, it's a taxable event, and you have to keep track of the basis.
Correct.
Right?
Yep, it's an item that you have to absolutely. You have to keep track of what's going on. Yep, and the hard thing is it's all crypto and electronic. So a lot of people are not getting paper statements, and so I find that people are very confused because it's all electronic.
Well, and what's so confusing is the terminology. So the value of the asset is tracked by blockchain technology. And I thought, oh my God, what can that mean? Is that a lot like, what does she draw? I mean, so what it basically is, it's an electronic ledger that every time the value of your cryptocurrency changes, there's a block that's added to the chain of that's on the ledger that basically keeps track of what the new value is. And every time there's a new block that's added to the chain, there are computers across the world that are coming up with what the value, the new adjusted value of your Bitcoin becomes. And so that's why when you hear that all these computers are going off, they're all over the world. As a matter of fact, if you're somebody that wants to do that kind of blockchain accounting, there are ways for you to get in on the ground floor and become somebody that wants to keep track of the value in the blockchain. So
So that factory in Tonawanda that people were complaining about, that it was making that really loud humming noise. So those are really huge computers.
So they're like big. They're all computers that are keeping track. Every time there's a new block, every time there's a new chain, which is a block that goes in the chain, it's going into the ledger, which is being accounted for by computers all over the world. The computers that basically get the right answer first, basically are called miners.
Okay.
And just like I said, everything's got its own terms.
They're all trying to
when
figure
you're a
it out
miner
fast.
and you come up with the correct answer after there's been a new block on the chain, then you are given you as the miner are given some small amount of additional Bitcoin for yourself. And that's why they do it. That's how they're rewarded. Now, there are hundreds and hundreds of millions of transactions that are going on, keeping track of all of the value in this blockchain, which is basically a ledger.
Okay. Wow.
It's basically a ledger.
So the biggest computer, the fastest computer, the better, because hopefully you can.
Well, it's not just one computer.
I know, it's all these
are
computers.
There are all
Yeah.
everybody's competing with that. We're going to keep track of the blockchain transactions, and they're the miners. Now, the owner of cryptocurrency is completely responsible to keep their identity safe. You blow it, you lose your key. That's the account number. See, they don't say account number, the key. You lose your key and you lose your investment.
Wow.
So it's really, really important
And we can-
that you, and I know we have to break for the news. We're going to break for the news. I'm Esther Gilius, the tax lady, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. You can text us at 716-8030930. We're going to take a short break for the news. We'll be back with more crypto on the other side.
We are family. I got all my sisters with me.
Hey, I'm Esther Gilius, the tax lady, trying to explain the unexplainable. We're talking cryptocurrency. Now, first of all, cryptocurrency is completely unregulated by the federal government. And that's, the first thing that maybe you should, and so maybe you think, well, that sounds good. Well, if you lose the key to your account, because everything is digital, and so when you are an owner of cryptocurrency, they're going to give you a key, which is a long numeric string of letters and symbols that identifies your particular ownership in that blockchain, that accounting, that ledger, okay? But if you lose it, if you lose the information, you completely lose the investment.
Yeah, it's not
So that's
like-
something you have to be very careful of.
It's not like what Polly said. You can't go later to New York State lost funds because they won't have it either.
Yeah, which was a really good point that she raised. Yeah,
That's
and do they have any insurance that you
No.
can purchase?
No, this is completely.
Wow.
So number one, every time you go to use it, you have to, it's a Schedule D transaction. Number two, the IRS is going to be diligently tracking this because people think, well, this looks like a great way to come up and do like under the table kind of stuff. Not really. Not really, because the IRS is going to be diligently tracking it. Okay, so the ownership is protected by keys, which are basically unique digital codes. Only the owner has in their possession. Lose the key, you lose the asset. If the owner is active in their cryptocurrency account, then they're considered to have a hot wallet.
Oh.
I don't know why they have to use these terms. All right. But if they're just storing the cryptocurrency, like just a CD, for instance, the asset is stored in a cold wallet.
Oh.
Now, to update your, when you have an update to your account
The Webster
that has
Dictionary.
no input on the coin holder, that's called a soft fork.
Oh, the Webster Dictionary has got I'm sure every year we hear that it updates terms, and I'm sure these are terms that are now in the dictionary, right?
And an update to your account with an impact is a hard fork, due to new currency being added to your blockchain. But
That
it's
is
interesting.
confusing.
I have heard people banter around this terminology, and I did not I mean, I knew it was taxable. I
fork.
knew it was a long-term capital
Bend and
or short-term
fork.
capital gain, and I knew it was up to the owner of the digital asset to keep track of it. But when people were talking about blockchain, I did not understand what they were talking about, because every sport, every business you're involved in, every kind of something that you're interested in, they all have their own terminology. I mean, there's in pickleball they got their own terminology. In all sports they got their own terminology. Well, so does cryptocurrency. And but the important thing is, if you're into cryptocurrency, understand it's taxable. You have to keep track of the basis, and the IRS is going to be watching it.
Yeah, I mean, we went to that IRS seminar a few weeks ago, and they had a seminar on this, and so it's something that's really important to them because it's going to be a big job. And
Well,
it seems
here's the
to
thing,
not be losing track.
If you're working for somebody and they pay you in cryptocurrency, and so you think, oh, hot dog, this is not going to be taxable. That's not true.
No.
Not only do you have to pay taxes, but you have to pay the FICA on it, because if you're performing a service, you have to pay the taxes on it plus the Social Security.
Right. Very.
Right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, and they'll never find out. We had somebody, he didn't report it for 2021, and it was a $300,000 gain. And
So here's the thing, back in a few years ago, and this is not to scare you, but I think when you go into an investment, you have to really think about. I know everybody thinks about the upside, but it is very volatile. Number one, it's backed by nothing. I mean, maybe I'm going to start Esther's cryptocurrency because like it's backed by nothing. As we go into the digital age, the federal government is looking at changing the United States dollar to a digital dollar.
So would you invest in cryptocurrency?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, not really. No. Do I have stupid put on my forehead? No, I wouldn't do it. But a lot of people are lured into something that they think they're really going to make money on. So let me go into this scenario that happened in Canada. Gerald Cotton in Canada was the owner manager of a cryptocurrency account in Canada, the largest one, and excuse me, he got married, and he and his wife went to India. He was 30 years old, and on his honeymoon he died.
Oh.
And with him went his password.
But he was the largest one in Canada. He was
right, and so he had $145 million in assets, and when he died, that was it. His new wife said, "I don't have the password," and he's dead.
Wow. Usually when you have an investment, you have to put who your beneficiary is or who your
but this is a
No, this is
security
a
code.
non-regulated. This is a non-regulated investment.
Right.
And so you really are rolling the dice. So here's some other ones. July 12th, there was a BitPoint hacking, and they lost $19.3 million to a massive cyber attack. May, Binance suffered a $40 million loss in a hacking attack. Over 7,000 Bitcoins were stolen. Typo squatting scam, where multiple hackers got together in late June of 2023 and stole $27 million worth of Bitcoins. June the 6th, cyber criminals steal $10 million worth of XRP coin from GateHub, and the theft was $10 million. BitTrue hack was an attack in June, resulted in a $4 million loss. So, I mean, I think what everybody has to understand is that Bitcoin is unregulated. You're taking a big risk. when you sell it, it's fully taxable. If you want to use it, a lot of people think, oh, I can use it for in my everyday life. So you go take $100 out of your Bitcoin account. It's a taxable event.
Right. That's crazy. Yeah, yeah. And so you really have to, Polly was talking about diversifying and her son maybe should diversify, but this is something I would not be diversifying in right now,
Well, I'm going to tell you something. According to what I read in Treasury Direct, in 2025, the United States is projected to start using digital currency in place of paper currency.
Then they
By
have to
2030,
start
they
backing it.
want to have it to be digital currency. Now, the
they're gonna come up with
the good part is it's less paperwork. But that's what they always say, isn't it? Like paper reduction. It's less paperwork, instantaneous use of accounts right away. The downside is they know everything about you. They know when you go to CVS or Walgreens, they know what prescriptions you have.
And-
They know if your hobby is golfing,
What kind of
if you
toilet
like to
paper
go
you
to the
buy.
movies, what kind of magazines you want to buy.
And just like in Canada, when those truckers revolted against the vaccine
They seized
mandates,
their bank
They
accounts?
seized their bank accounts, and so they had their thumb on their heel on their neck. They were
So
right
and
there.
I bring this up because I don't like to get political, but the thing is, you really need to be aware of this because they're very stealthy about what their goals are. And if you're somebody that has been keeping money in your mattress, good luck.
Yeah. You want to go to the text?
Yeah, let's go to the text.
Esther and gang, can you use cryptocurrency to buy an asset like a house? I was
Sure.
thinking of that man in Canada, they said.
Well, sure.
But you have to cash in some
But
of
then
the
you
crypto.
cash in. So you want to buy a $400,000 house and you have $400,000 worth of marketable crypto accounts and you cash it in, you have a taxable event of $400,000. Not that it's all taxable, but the difference between what you bought it for and what you sold it for is a long-term or short-term capital gain.
Right. So do you know if crypto has dividends and
No.
No dividends. Okay, no dividends.
So and these miners are trying to get these free bitcoins and free pieces of a blockchain that they have just solved the value of the blockchain.
Okay.
And so that's why all these computers are roaring all the time.
Humming.
right?
And one other thing too, if somebody hacks your checking account, right, you can report it to the bank
And the bank will cover it.
and the bank will cover it. Somebody hacks your
Crypto account, no,
You're done.
No good. Yep, absolutely. But and it was interesting because some of the statistics when we went to the IRS forum is they said that a lot of people had cryptocurrency, and I don't know. Did you have very many clients that said that they had cryptocurrency?
No, not
And maybe
many.
they don't even know they have it. I don't know.
Not many yet. I mean, maybe it's where we live. I don't think so. But.
So anyway, so what do you think? Do you have cryptocurrency? I know one of my clients, his son was a truck driver, and when cryptocurrency was so hot about 2 years ago, he was making all kinds of money, but then he lost everything.
Right.
Most of it, I can say. So it's very interesting. I just thought it was important that people should understand when you hear blockchain, basically think of a ledger. And when you hear of a miner, that's somebody that's keeping track of the value of your account, and they get a little piece of the pie if they solve the equation regarding the value of the blockchain.
Okay.
And be careful, because if you lose your key, you lose everything. So you want to make sure you keep it in a secure.
Is the text board
secure
not
place,
working,
right?
or-
Anyway, I'm Esther Goliath, the tax lady. 8030930. 8030930 star 930 on a cell phone. You can text us at 716-8030930. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back on the other side with your comments, questions, and conversation.
We are family. I got all my sisters with me.
And to, oh, you didn't play the Bill song, Frank. Okay, anyway. And of course, we want the Bills to win on Monday. So, right?
Yeah, I was going to
and-
ask you what your prediction is.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm
for,
not predicting
Thanks
nothing.
for.
But
She's
when
gonna
I saw
hide.
that Detroit beat Kansas City, I couldn't believe it.
My grandfather and my dad. Yesterday, I was watching Field of Dreams, and I was crying like a baby because I was thinking about my dad. But my dad and my grandpa would be so happy. You know.
I know. Finally, they win, but against Kansas City.
Yeah.
All right. We have some text.
Yeah,
here.
our text board wasn't working for a little while. You talked about high interest rate CDs with a company called Connexus. Could you spell that for me? Don't know if I have the right spelling. So if you
All
want
right.
to think about
Connexus
that.
is a credit union. It's CONNEXUS.
Okay. Maybe I
And
could text that
and
to them.
again, they're paying $575 on a 1-year CD.
Okay, so this one is, so if you could buy a house with crypto, why is it that the day you tax on it, when you cash it in, I mean, it's supposed to be unregulated? I thought, but you're going to end up paying taxes when you buy the house anyways. So why all the double, triple, and quadruple dipping? Isn't it like every single time there's a transaction when money switches hands, the government's got to get a cut out of it? I don't know how about you, but I think this is a load of crap.
Okay, so here's the thing. Every time you sell, they're considering when you cash in your crypto, it's like selling stock. So if let's pretend it's not crypto, let's pretend it's ABC stock, and you see a house for $400,000, and you say, "Gee, I'd like to buy that house," and the only money I have is ABC stock, and so you sell your $400,000 worth of ABC stock. If you paid $200,000 for ABC stock, then the gain is going to be $200,000, and the balance, the after-tax money that purchased it, is not going to be taxed. So, but it's a taxable event because they have said that it is an asset, and that's how they're handling it. Because it's not currency, it's like stock.
Yep.
I mean,
absolutely.
anything you look at that you sell at a gain, except for inventory and cash and depreciable assets, is a capital asset. And the maximum you're going to pay is 20%. You may pay 0% if your income's low enough. But here's the thing: there are thousands and thousands of transactions that happen in a typical blockchain ownership of cryptocurrency, and you have to keep track of all that.
Yep.
Yep. And then there's a caller and a lot more text.
All right, let's do it.
What do you want, a caller?
Yeah, we'll do John first.
Hey, John, how can we help you?
Okay. I'll be real fast. I have cryptocurrencies, okay? And like you said, 2-3 years ago, they were real hot. Well, I had an initial about a $20,000 investment back then, and I have mostly Ethereum. A lot of people, the way you're talking, think that there's only Bitcoin. There's other...
Oh, sure, there's all different kinds.
Right, but I mean, I have Ethereum, which is supposed to be the second best crypto, and I believe it is. Mine went all the way up to $160,000 3 years ago, real fast. I couldn't believe it. Mm-hmm. And I talked to a couple of people. They said sell it. I'm in it for the long haul because supposedly it's supposed to get a lot better someday, and that's all there's going to be is cryptos.
Yeah.
But till this day, I didn't pull it out. I left it, and it's up. Now it's down to like around 50,000. I'm going to leave it there and see what happens. You think
Okay.
that's a smart thing, or just?
Well, I mean,
What do you?
if you can afford it, if you don't really need the money, and that's where your investment strategy is, you are a far more aggressive investor than I am. See, now all I would think
That's
is
what I don't really
I
need
could
it right
still
now.
make
I
30,000 and sell it right now.
Right. It was all the way up to 160. I could have cashed it in then. I think it was 3 years ago. It happened so fast. But then everybody that I know that are into different banking said sell it, get rid of it, And I said I don't
Well, see
want
that
it.
I mean,
bought it
when
because-
it was first on the scene, it was like a shiny new penny, and I don't think people really realized. It just sounded so good. Oh, nobody's gonna know. Nobody will know about this,
Yeah,
but I got news for you. They may not know what you did with the money because that's not regulated, but they'll know that you sold it, that you cashed it in. So whether you
didn't do
trade it,
anything.
cash it in, sell it, it's all a taxable event.
Right. If you don't do anything, there's nothing you have to worry
Right,
about.
you just let it run.
No, I didn't do anything. And it's just sitting. I just let it sit there.
And-
The
and
other
John,
question
I-
had is, what about a beneficiary? I worry about that because
There is no.
I don't have anything that says I have
you,
a beneficiary.
You own it, John, and so you would then, upon your death, pass that key on to somebody else.
Well, that's what I've left that key to somebody else already in case something happens to me. Is that what I should? Did I do the right thing?
I mean,
Yeah.
As long as you
but
trust
here's
that
the
person
thing,
because
if
you're giving
it was
them
more
access
than
to it.
$17,000, you have to file a gift tax return because you gave them. If you gave it to them and they own it, then you might have to do a gift tax return.
No, I
you
didn't
put
give
it in
them
your
the
will.
money. All I did is gave them the key in case I passed away.
But the key is the ownership, isn't it?
No, I mean, if they got the key, you could go into my account.
That's
right?
what I
Because
mean.
they have
Because the key is the ownership. Whoever has the key.
right. The person is right on my account too with me. Okay, it's my wife. So
Oh, okay. Well, that's
as
not
long
a
as you have
problem
that
anyway.
key, you could transfer money.
Okay. Well, you can give money to your wife anyway, so that's not a problem.
Yeah, that's not. If it was your
So-
son, it
but
would
anyway,
be something
That was
different.
wise of you.
So the bottom line is, it's highly speculative. You're going to let it ride. You got 20,000 into it. If you want to sell it, you make 30,000. If you don't want to, let it ride.
Okay, thank you both
Thanks,
very
John.
much. All very much.
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah,
what else we
and
got?
I think John's right. This is the way the government wants to do cashless, so it's moving in the right forward. We've got Denise, a caller, and then we've got
But
a
theirs
text.
is going to be U.S.
Yes,
digital.
yes,
right?
yes. We'll do a
Backed by
text.
the full faith and credit of the federal government.
Right, which is great.
I don't know if that cuts any mustard.
I'll do a
Right.
text before Denise. Esther, it's possible some of your clients have crypto but don't realize the taxability and or need to report it. For instance, and Chris, this is sort of choppy, I invested a small amount of crypto in 2021 and lost most of it. Why would races since my money for the investment was transferred directly from my bank account? Also, I guess I have a cold wallet since the small amount of remaining funds are sitting in my brokerage account.
That's right. She has whoever has that's a cold wallet. That's correct.
And then if she lost money, it would go on a Schedule D.
If she sold it.
If she sold it, and you get to claim $3,000 a year until the whole loss
She can use
is
that
realized.
to offset dollar for dollar capital gains.
Yep, also
plus 3,000.
if she has if she has gains, if she
And,
has gainers.
I think you're absolutely right. I think is this Denise? No, not Denise.
No, this is.
Okay, so here's the thing: many people don't even know they have cryptocurrency. That somebody might have given them a Bitcoin, and they don't even, or whatever digital currency you have, and they don't even realize it. Well, you better think about it.
Right.
Because you're going to be getting 1099 forms. Not only will you get the 1099Ks that we talked about last week, but you'll be getting 1099 forms if you have sold any kind of digital currency.
And it's good this person realized they got a cold wallet, so you must have educated them, and you educated me.
And I love the hard fork and the soft fork. I mean, anyway, go on. What else we got?
Okay, then we got Denise from
Hey, Denise.
Amherst.
Yeah.
Hey, Denise.
Question about an LLC. If they lease a truck, can you deduct like gas or mileage or maintenance on the truck?
All right. It all depends on is it the business asset?
Yes.
What type of business? Is it rental property? Is it?
No, it's a gym.
Okay, so if that is a business asset used in the production of income, then you can either take standard mileage rate, which would include all of your expenses, or you can take your actual expenses, which then would include your insurance, your gas, your repairs, and depreciation for the vehicle.
Okay, so it doesn't actually get used to make money. It's just.
Oh yeah, it has to be used to make money.
Okay,
Do you have a business? Is it your goal to make money?
Oh yeah, but I mean, there's a couple locations for the gym, so they use the truck to go back and forth and things like that.
But it's all part of the business, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Which has a
Profit motive.
goal of profitability.
I mean,
right?
I guess the question we should be asking is, what's the percentage it's used for business compared to personal?
50-50, I would say.
Okay, so then you get to take 50% of your expenses, or 50% of the mileage used for business, whichever way you want to set it up, and that would go on your Schedule C or your 1120S or whatever business form that you have.
Yeah, with cars being so much money, I mean, it's like $50,000 or $60,000 for a car nowadays. Did we answer your question, Denise? Does
Yeah,
that make
thank
sense?
you.
Okay,
All right, thanks,
good.
Denise.
Good question.
Okay, so I think we've run out of time, right?
yeah, almost.
All right, so
But I
during,
think
yeah,
a
Tiff.
good point is a lot of people have crypto and they don't even realize it.
Right, and so that's what we want to make sure. It would be a horrible thing if you, 2 years after the fact, find out the IRS is at your front door wondering how come you didn't claim whatever. And we want to make sure that with this, I mean, we are going into the digital age. With everything changing digitally, you want to make sure that you got your
I's
eggs
dotted,
in the right order,
T's
right?
crossed. Yep, exactly.
All right, and during the week, if you need us, we're at EG Tax on Colvin Boulevard. We are doing tax returns. Extension deadlines coming up. If you haven't filed, we can get you filed. And if you have questions, you can go to Ask the Tax Lady on our website. And by the way, we have archived radio shows on there too. They can listen to,
Yeah,
right?
and then also we're going to do a seminar with Mike and Glenn and
November 11th, our Ready, Set, Retire. They're going to be hosting it.
November. So if you're interested, I think you'd go to Mike and Glenn and sign up for the seminar.
All right,
that's coming up in November.
what's their website, you know, Tiff?
thefinancialguys.com. You could give them a call at 633-1515 and get registered that way as well.
Okay, so thank you for listening. I'm Esther Gillius, the tax lady from EG Tax. Go Bills. Thanks, Tiff. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Frank.
Thanks,
Have a
Esther.
great week. Let's
All
hope
that
we
time
win.
you spent
Bye-bye.
researching it.